Hey guys, and welcome to another video. So today is pretty much almost like a part 2 from my last episode where I kind of started a Q&A. Basically, I went on my Instagram and asked you guys to ask me questions, but I got over 100 guys, so that's a lot. Today I'm gonna do my best to answer as many as I can and not make this video like super long because again it's late. That's why I'm pale and I got the ring light here. Let's get started with some questions. Basically, I am going to answer probably the most common ones that I saw in that thread, and I also picked a few of you that asked me questions here on my YouTube channel. Instead of highlighting one subscriber of the week, I'm gonna be highlighting a few of you and answering your questions here. I got George behind the camera, so he will be asking the questions from my Instagram so I'm not like looking all over the place.
Holistic Fit Mom asks, what supplements, if any, do you keep in during peak week? If you cut out supplements, how close to the show do you do that?
I basically keep my same supplement regimen all year long. Even on peak week, I don't change much on peak week. As far as supplements that I take are protein powders because they're super convenient. And right now I am taking LIV BODY, all the supplements from LIV BODY. I love their protein. That's the main reason I decided to sign with this company. Their protein powders are amazing and you can bake with it, cook with it. So I take that. They do not have a vegan greens powder yet. They do have a greens powder, but it contains honey. So if you don't mind honey, then you could use greens powder. But since I don't promote anything that's not vegan, I take their Detox, which is basically spirulina, chlorella, and cilantro, all 3 in one. And I don't take it for detox purposes, but mostly just to get extra greens. And the benefits from chlorella and spirulina are just amazing. They're superfoods and super green, so I like to include them in my diet, and it's an easy way for me to just drink it in an all-in-one, because before I used to buy tablets of spirulina and tablets of chlorella, but now I just take this. It tastes like mango and it's really yummy with just a little bit of lemon water. I take creatine monohydrate and I get that on Amazon. I take vegan aminos from LIV BODY as well, and I like the orange mango flavor. It tastes like a creamsicle, very delicious, and I mix that with water and I drink it through my workout. Now recently, since I've been with LIV BODY, they actually have a pre-workout that I really been enjoying because it doesn't give me the tingles or anything like that. It doesn't have any beta-alanine, so it doesn't give you that itchy feeling, and it gives you a lot of energy without the crash because it's all natural caffeine, like either from coffee or tea. It also has a little bit of beetroot powder, which gives you a nice pump during your workout. So I've really been enjoying that, but I do make sure that whenever I do take pre-workout, I am not drinking coffee. I still want to maintain my coffee pretty low this far out from my show and kind of like save it towards the end. The last thing I take is the Future Kind vegan multivitamin, which is all 3 in one. Again, is supplements that I used to take on their own, but now I take them all 3 in one, which is basically D3, B12, and omega-3, which are very important. Even if you're not vegan, I think you would benefit a lot from these 3. So that's kind of like my supplement regimen all year round. So I don't change it going into peak week.
Humblebee Philosophy asks, where is your dream place to live?
Dream place to live. George and I have been to a few places. George is in the Coast Guard, so we move a lot, but I don't think we have really found the dream place yet. I feel like my ideal dream place is going to have a beach. It's gonna have a nice gym nearby. I'm gonna live near a grocery store. Like, the things that I look for in a dream place are ridiculous. And I want a mix between city but beach life, if that kind of makes sense. Like, I want to have stuff to do. I don't want to be bored. Like, right now I'm like in Houston, I'm in the city, there's no beach. I'm kind of bored. I don't like it here. That's kind of what I look for in a dream place.
Kelsey Othling asks, how do you keep variety in your diet while tracking macros? Do you think you'll track your food indefinitely or switch to intuitive eating at some point? Good luck, girl.
The beauty of tracking macros is that's why I do it, to include variety in my diet. I just make sure eat an abundance of fruit, vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes, proteins, carbs. Like, I just try to pick a variety of everything. I look at my plate and I'm like, how can I make it colorful? Because every color represents a different vitamin and mineral. So I want to make sure that I get all of that from my food first, because I do feel like a lot of people rely on supplementation to get a lot of their nutrients, and it's okay, but I feel like we should focus more on getting everything from our whole foods, and then we use the supplements as assisting us. Tracking macros just allows me to have a lot of variety, and I start by picking my protein. So my protein is how I start basically tracking macros, and then after that I'll pick my fats, because my carbs are the easiest thing for me to figure out. So when I'm logging everything, I'll start off by like picking my proteins and splitting them evenly throughout the day. It depends on what I feel like. So you could say that I kind of do intuitive, flexible dieting, if that makes sense, because I really do enjoy picking whatever I kind of feel like for that week. So that's kind of how I do it.
Catherine Lynn 2131 asks, for vegans doing bikini comp, do you recommend processed, non-processed, or both vegan meat during prep?
I think it really depends on your personal preference, really. It all comes down, again, if you're tracking macros, you can pretty much pick whatever you enjoy. Remember, this is your journey and you want to make it enjoyable. So if you want to stay away from processed food, do so. And just pick whole food, and vice versa. If you want to do your prep with processed foods, do it with processed food. I personally think that having a balance between the two is key. For me, I just want to make sure that I have balance with everything and not feel like I'm depriving myself even while I'm in a caloric deficit for prep. During my prep, I really enjoy having a little bit of both. I always say I do the 80-20 approach, which means 80% whole foods, 20% processed foods, and that way I can like stay on track in the long term.
JLRN30 asks, how do you get enough protein while keeping carbohydrates from getting too high? What are some of your easiest, clean, go-to meals without tons of ingredients, or those that are hard to find? Thanks. Keep up the good work. You look amazing.
Thank you. I'm gonna put a picture right here. This is an example of what I would eat if I want to keep my carbs low. A tofu scramble is go-to for me. I start off because it's, first of all, it's very high volume, it's very tasty, and then you play with add-ons. You guys are gonna see from now on, my carbohydrates are gonna start to get low the closer I get to contest prep, and I am going to be having to switch over from a lot of flexible meal planning to more of like a strict meal plan, just because it's gonna be closer to show and I want things to be predictable. I am going to give you a lot of examples besides the one that I just showed you right now going into my show, so stay tuned for those videos and I can't wait to share them. If you follow me on Instagram, make sure to scroll down the feed. I have posted in the past my go-to favorite proteins, which is this infographic right here, and I will link it in the description box below. I'm constantly sharing over there full day of eatings that I do not share here on my YouTube, so make sure to follow me there at FITVEGANCHEF.
Ashley Thorpe asked, I had a question about measuring tofu on the food scale. Do you measure it before you put it in the air fryer or after? And do you press your tofu or pat it dry before cooking it?
I like to stay consistent with everything, so I make sure that I weigh everything just for consistency before cooking. So I always, when I'm tracking, I track the raw weights and then I cook it. And that's a lot easier for me to always stay consistent, because food changes when it cooks. Sometimes it loses water, sometimes it gets puffed up. So yeah, you just, for consistency, I would just track it raw. I don't pat it down because most of the time I get high protein sprouted tofu, which has little to no water content, and it cooks quicker and I don't have to like spend time patting it down. But if I am planning on meal prepping the next day and for some reason I did not find high protein sprouted tofu, I will get extra firm, and yes, I will pat it down with like a paper towel and just let it there. Sometimes I like putting it between two cutting boards and putting some weight on it. Sometimes I'll put my Vitamix. That helps a lot, and it's kind of like a do-it-yourself press. A tofu press? Yeah, tofu press. Versus you buying one that costs like $15, and you can only press one tofu at a time. So this next comment is gonna be from my YouTube. So that means you are a subscriber of the week, and is
Bob and Mary W. And they ask, Generally, how low do you go on carbs? A daily or weekly goal? Hence the low energy? Also, you must be keeping the fat content low. What are the macros to promote that kind of leanness?
This question definitely depends on the individual. Everybody has different macronutrients, and some people can cut on very high calories versus others have to go really, really low, especially for a bodybuilding competition. Towards the end, it gets low. I have done different approaches over the years. I've done high carb, I've done moderate carb, and right now I really have a very balanced approach to everything that I do. I do not go lower than 20% of my total calories for fat. There's a number that my coach won't allow me to go lower. In the past, I had gone lowered, and it wasn't the best because I always was hungry. And I feel like with a little bit more fat during contest prep, it has allowed me to be more satiated. I do aim for a lot of protein. I go over my recommended amount, and that is just personal preference because I do enjoy protein sources, and again, it just comes down to my personal preference and what's gonna make me stick to this goal in the long term. And at the end of the day, if you're in a caloric deficit, you're gonna get lean, but it's about making it optimal for you. With my carbohydrates, that is the variable in my contest prep. My carbs in the improvement season, they go pretty high. I have a very fast metabolism, and I get to enjoy a lot of food. And through this whole cut, leading up to now, I've been eating anywhere from 1,700 calories to 2,000 calories. Those have been my calories in cutting. However, now we're getting close, so I'm probably gonna start hitting the 1,500 range, and it's gonna be for a little amount of time just so I can get to that leanness. But that's my personal number. I know a lot of my teammates that have gone below that. I know a lot of them that have been above that. So it really varies person to person. But my carbs in the past have gotten as low as 120 grams per day. Second to last show from last year, before I got my pro card, the judges told me get a tad bit leaner, and I was really lean already. And my coach and I had a conversation, and we were like, you want to grind for a couple of days? And I was like, heck yeah, because we had 2 weeks in between the shows. I was like, let's just do it. So we did it for 3 days only. And that was it. 120 for like those 3 days, and I got even leaner than what I already was. But the main thing is to give yourself enough time and get in a caloric deficit, and that's going to be different for everybody because you can create it with calories and you can create it with cardio too.
Our last question, Corinne Rayson asks, thanks for another great video. Quick question regarding the lupini seitan. I can't seem to get a hold of lupini beans. Any particular bean you suggest to use instead?
You can find them on Amazon. I get them on Amazon, and I get them from the brand Brahmi. I personally love Brahmi because they're already seasoned, and if I don't use them for my lupini bean seitan, I can always just eat them like straight from the packet because they come already cooked and seasoned, and it's a perfect snack. In my lupini bean seitan, they work perfectly. You can find also on Amazon canned ones, and if you go to the grocery store in your pickle section, or if you go to a specialty grocery store, chances are you're gonna find them in the canned pickle section. Amazon or your grocery store. And if you can't find them, you can always use another bean. You can use garbanzo beans, black beans, or white beans. It's definitely gonna change the flavor and the texture of the actual seitan. Obviously the macros are gonna change because those are a lot higher in carbs, but it is another option for you to enjoy the seitan, and you're still gonna get the same result. So that is all the time that I have for today, guys. I'm actually getting ready for the Angel Competition Bikini Posing Seminar that's happening this Saturday. Today is Thursday, January 17th, and I have check-ins tomorrow. I'm gonna be vlogging the whole weekend, so you guys are gonna see my posing seminar. You guys are gonna see the visit that Coach Paul is gonna make here, because he will be a part of my posing seminar as well. We're gonna get some sick content. I'm gonna be back with another full day of eating. And guys, oh my God, I had a big macro drop this week and a cardio bump. So that means prep just got real from now on until show day, because we're officially 9 weeks out from today. I am going to be doing very basic and simple meal prep recipes. Hope you guys are okay with simple. Just understand it's part of my contest prep, and I know you guys follow me because I do a lot of fun things with my macros. I'm still gonna keep it very interesting, but I also have to take care of myself and this journey because I'm in it to win it this year. So stay tuned for very simple, high protein, fit vegan recipes. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, not forget to give me a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're new here, and I will see you on my next video. Bye.